Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of my favorite trip to the movies, the show where movie going is not exactly as it was right now. I think it's getting a little bit more like it was. So hopefully, that trend continues. This is the show where we discuss our favorite movie theater memories, favorite concession items, and the overall awesomeness of going to see movies and experiencing art when we can all, do that again safely for sure. Looking forward to that day when we can all go back and, feel normal with it. And also, before we get started, just a huge shout out to all of the healthcare workers, all the teachers, and just all the other essential workers, getting us through this time. Episode 16. Today's guest is the super awesome Zack Davis. Zack is a very talented graphic designer, filmmaker, videographer, musician. Definitely check out Zack on SoundCloud. The link will be posted below. It'll be soundcloud.com/buzz music. That'll be BUZD_music. Many awesome mixes. You should definitely check that out. And Zack has also recently collaborated with the very talented artist Align, who's also one of our good friends, and has created so many awesome videos and artwork. And you can check that out. There's a Facebook link below for that. Adding on to that, Zack has been an awesome friend for many years. We met in sixth grade, and we just so many good times. We have many art classes together, and just so happy to have you on the show, Zack. Zack, how are you doing today on this
I am
March
doing
Saturday?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the awesome intro. Yeah, like you said, we've been friends since sixth grade, and it all met from me singing a Ti song "Top Back" on the playground, and Joe overheard me singing it, and from there on, we've been friends.
And
Um,
that was, yeah, and ever since that day, we were just talking about this. We've been to movies, we've been making movies, so many good times, just going to high school basketball games, going to high school football games, and just so many awesome times.
Absolutely. Yeah, but thank you for inviting me onto your show. I'm excited to get this started. Yeah.
Of course, it's an honor, Zack. And so, what is one of your favorite movie theater memories? There are a few of them.
All right. So actually, when you texted me, my first thought was seeing the movie Disturbia, which actually I think, or actually I know Jeremy had talked about it already. But I'll just kind of briefly go over that experience and then talk about another one, just so we're not, or just so I'm not copying his show. But basically, yeah, I went to take your kids to work day with Jeremy and his dad, and we're hanging out at the Bull Sox Academy, shooting basketballs, hitting balls for baseball. Just we were having a great time. We went to go get lunch and ended up going to the movies, and it was really awesome because again, that was our first time going to the movies by ourselves. Like I had never, the only time I ever went to the movies was either with my grandparents, with my mom, or aunts or uncles, and so it was a big deal at the time. And plus, it was just like an improv moment, like we weren't expecting to go. And we went to go see a scary movie, Disturbia, and as Jeremy had mentioned, we were at a jump scare part of the movie, and the lights went out. Like you could hear the thunder and lightning too from outside of the movie theater, and we both jumped, screamed, and it was just an epic moment for sure. Like every time I think of a crazy movie experience, like that is the number one experience that comes to my mind. Um, but yeah, it was overall very crazy. Jeremy had definitely a better or had was more knowledgeable on the experience than me. When I was watching his video, he definitely reminded me of a few things. But overall, that was probably the craziest movie experience. Again, just because lights went out, we were both thinking like we might die here in this movie theater by ourselves. And again, it was like 2 p.m. on a Tuesday or something like that, and there was absolutely nobody in the theater. So it was very scary. Probably one of the first scary movies I had ever seen too. But actually, so I'm a big scary movie guy as well. So the second craziest experience was another scary movie. It was when I went to see The Conjuring, and this was probably maybe like junior year of high school. It was either junior or senior year of high school, but great movie if you're into scary movies. But A was a great movie. Like the first scary movie in a while where I was like, wow, like I'm actually kind of getting frightened here because usually I don't know. It takes usually I see scary movies as cheesy, and so it really takes a little bit of effort to make me jump out of my seat. But this was like the first movie in a while where I was like actually kind of freaking out, sitting in my chair, like, oh my god, like I might actually have trouble sleeping tonight. And so in the movie, there's like this one scene where there's these black crows kind of like circling the house. And I think they end up on the lawn like dead or something. But basically, they keep referring to this black crow. And it was kind of the symbol of just, terror in the movie or like something's coming. And so, you know, the movie continues and you keep seeing the Black Crow or whatever. And then movie finishes, like, you know, we're leaving. I can't remember exactly who I went to see that movie with, but as we were leaving the theater, we heard a scream and there was this black thing flying above everybody's head as we were like getting out of the movie theater. And so people were running towards the exit. I was kind of just like almost on all fours, like trying to duck, trying to get to the exit. And it turned out it wasn't a black crow, but it was a bat was in the theater. And this was at Elk Grove uh, Classic. Well, I can't remember the actual name. Is it Classic Cinema? Elk Grove Classic Cinema?
Yes.
But basically, there was a bat in the theater flying around as we exited the movie. So when I left that theater, I was like, "Oh my God, this might be a sign. Like, there's a ghost following us. There's a bat in the theater. Like, this means something." But yeah, overall, that was probably my second craziest movie experience, just because, you know, see this scary movie, you leave the theater hoping that this experience is going to be over, and the next thing you know, it's coming to life. And so yeah, that was one of the more freakier moments that I've experienced when it comes to movies.
Wow, those are like both such just immersive experiences. Like you got the full horror movie experience in both of
Yeah,
those. And I'm so glad you brought up the first one. Yeah, because after I remember through Jeremy's, he's like, if you ever have Zach on the show, I wonder if he'll bring this up. So I'm so glad you also brought that one up. Yeah, that's especially when you're like we're like in that age, like going to a
I,
movie by yourself is
I
like.
can't remember exactly what grade. It was either fourth or fifth grade, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, again, we weren't going to the movies by ourselves at that time. So when Mr. Gentry asked us if we want to see a movie, we were both like, "Heck yeah, like why not?" And he left us there, which was awesome. Yeah, great experience.
And that second example, oh my, that would be like they like that would like that's literally like one of the like the horror imagery of the movie is
Yeah,
like he's flying. Yeah, that's like oh my gosh.
it's pretty much like, you know, you see the movie and then you walk out into the haunted house as you're leaving the theater in a way.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, and also quick shout out to Elk Grove Classic Cinema. It's the unofficial official theater of this show, reopening April 15th. That's
Really?
their
Very
so just shout
exciting.
out to them. That's one of our local theater chains. That we love so much. And also with The Conjuring, I think that was, I'm not, I think it was The Conjuring. That was one of the first movies that had like, they put a health advisory outside of the theater just because of like of how scary it was.
Really?
I think it was The Conjuring.
I mean, that would make sense because, again, like I said, usually I'm not frightened by movies, but this one, it got me. It really did. And even like continuing to watch it, like, you know, years later, it still kind of freaks me out a bit. But yeah, for some reason, usually, like, I guess the reason why I like scary movies so much is because I just like to see if, you know, if it lives up to its hype, and I like to see if it actually does scare me. And usually they don't, but The Conjuring got me. So if you haven't seen The Conjuring, for all you viewers, I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a scare.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely an awesome scary movie recommendation. I have not seen it, but you might have sold me on it just because of how I'm terrified to watch it. But any movie that immerses you like that, that's worth a watch for sure.
Absolutely.
Did you see the sequels for that to that too?
I did. I believe I saw the second one. I'm very blurry on it though, and I think there's a third one. I definitely have not seen that. But what I do remember was I remember the second one not being as great as the first one. So that might be the reason why I never ventured out to see the third one if there is one. But yeah,
Yeah,
number one's where it's at.
yeah, that's definitely gonna be on like a one of those lists, like classic horror movies of the 21st century. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, Zach, when I asked you to be on, I was trying to think of like, 'cause I know we talked about seeing movies. I was trying to think of like my favorite mutual memory between us, and I forgot what movie it was, but it was either Hancock or one of the Transformers movies where
Or
they played the first teaser for one of our mutual favorite movies, District 9, and we were just like, because they didn't show anything else but that scene. I remember you and I were just like, this movie looks awesome. We have to, it might have been like a year away at that point. We're like, we can't wait to see this movie.
uh,
I swear that I think that was with you. I think so. I could be
yeah,
wrong.
no, that was District 9, and we would always reference the what was the liquid, the black liquid,
Yeah, because you had that,
the
you had that,
serum, the serum or something
yeah,
like
the
that.
thing that, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but he takes it and
But yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, we were sitting next to each other when we saw that trailer, and yeah, definitely put that on the bucket list of videos to see or movies to see. But yeah, that was a great movie as well. Funny character too. The main character, just the way he's like talking and uh, fiddles with that serum. It's just, I don't know. It's a kind of a scary movie, but it's also has its funny moments, I think.
Yeah, it has its moments of of some comedy thrown in there with the heavier stuff for sure.
Uh-huh. But yes, even going back into some memories, I always look back at me, you, Jeremy, even Shane and Britt and Nick Bugle back in the digital media
Yes,
days, created
legends.
videos in the hallway. Those are some of the best moments. Music video day, just watching those. Uh, yeah, I love
Oh,
reminiscing back on those times. We need to see or have a day where we all get together, me, you, Jeremy, and just watch some of those videos if they're still in existence. Um, Probably
oh.
behind a locked key.
Hey,
So,
it's valuable cargo. It's locked up only for. No, I don't know. It's yeah. They have to be like on that because I know we made DVDs. Like that's how we were kind of in that fine line right between like when DVDs were just becoming slightly extinct. So, but there's a DVD somewhere where we have this stuff. I know there is.
yeah, I need a refresher on some of those. I remember, I think one of my best films or better films was the Eagle Eye one that we've created.
Oh my gosh, that one. What a spoof that was.
Right? Good times.
Oh yeah, and I still love the one you made with the Arizona iced tea. I love that one. Like the it was like the quick cut. It was like you had the eyes and like the zooming in on the can. That was so cool.
I'm forgetting what that one is. Shoot. I can't remember. Arizona iced tea.
And like you played like airplane sounds in the background. It was like I don't know. I don't remember much about that project. I don't even remember what I did for that
Yeah, we
one.
created so many videos back then. Yeah, I'm not surprised that I'm forgetting some of them.
It all kind of blends together for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of, well, I guess we talked about Arizona iced tea, so that's a food item. With that transition, what's one of your favorite movie theater concession items, Zach?
So I mean, typically I don't know, just the way I was raised, I always used to sneak snacks in. So I guess I'm a bad person for that. But if I'll go through my usual routine. So usually I'll go to a Walgreens and actually, I'll grab an Arizona iced tea or Gatorade or something like that. And then I'll grab Coke bottle gummies because those are my favorite candies. Um, but usually, like, yeah, something like that's usually my go-to. And depending on the theater, you have to sneak it in or not. But that's just what I've been doing my whole life. But my favorite, actually, another thing that I recently started doing, or not recently, about 2 years ago, someone put me onto this. But when we went to Marcus Addison Theater, there is a Culver's right across the street, and so we'd go and get cheese curds and hide them in a bag as we'd walk in, and we'd have cheese curds for the movies, which that was a great time. Great snack to have when you're watching a flick. But when it comes down to actual concession items, I would say I think Jeremy mentioned this in his, but the Sour Patch watermelons gummies, those, no matter if I'm at a movie theater, I have to get them, or even if I see them at Walgreens or like a store, like I usually have to pick them up just because they're so delicious. I have a sweet tooth for sour candy, so it's bad, but I'm not gonna give them up anytime soon, unfortunately. But I would say, yeah, that's usually the item that I'm picking up at the movies if I'm getting something. But uh, I did want to talk about the cherry Pepsi that they have at Elk Grove because I think Alex
Yes.
Pope mentioned this in his theater, and there
Yeah.
is absolutely nothing like that. I think it's cherry Pepsi and not cherry Coke, but there's nothing better than that cherry Pepsi at that movie theater. They put something in there that changes it, and the mix of that with the popcorn, it's like the ultimate combo. So when I'm at the Elk Grove Theater and I'm getting something, it's that combination: cherry Pepsi and popcorn. But if I am at Marcus Addison, I'll probably be stopping at a Culver's beforehand and grabbing cheese curds, and then maybe like an icy once I get in there. If I'm getting an icy, I like to get Coca-Cola.
Yeah, oh, Coke. Yeah, that's the best.
Maybe mix some cherry in there too. I'm a big cherry Coke guy.
Well, hey, I mean, whether it's the soda from Elk Grove or the ice, you gotta have. I'm glad there's multiple. We gotta get the cherry cola option. That's always the best one for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, if you're ever at Marcus Addison, I do recommend the cheese curds. It'll change the game for you, for anybody watching. Cheese curds at the movies, it's amazing.
But yeah, I'm so glad you brought the cherry up from Elk Grove Theater. That's like, and I was so glad, yeah, because like Alex has brought that one up. I think a couple other people might have brought that one up too. That's like such a staple. It's so good. Like you said, it's like their seared up ratio, whatever they do with like the flavoring and the carbonation. It's so good.
Yeah, I think they tuned the machine to put a little extra syrup in the drink instead of the carbonated water.
I'm just imagining
Which
like dials,
I'm okay with. Yeah.
a bunch of dials in the back, like that's like just for dedicated, just for the cherry Coke specifically.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
What's your favorite concession snack?
Oh, let's see. So this one's very boring. So if it's I love it's not Diet Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb Zero from the AMC freestyle machines. I could drink gallons of that. It's so good.
I love those freestyle machines.
Mhm.
Those things changed the soda game forever. Just because whenever I see one of those at a restaurant now, it's like a lot of times like I don't get it. If I'm grabbing food and going, I usually don't get a drink. But if I see one of those machines in the establishment, it's like, all right, now I need a soft drink because there's so many options. You can get any kind of flavor of Coca-Cola, any kind of flavor of Sprite. Like whoever made that, just applause for
Yes.
you because that is a great invention. I am obsessed with the custom, or yeah, how you can be so custom with your soda flavors.
Exactly. It's a whole new world of possibility. Anything or everything you could think of, you can have. So you have to.
Absolutely.
Um,
So are you a Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper guy? Have
oh,
you,
that is.
because I remember you were big on Dr. Pepper back in high school. I'm curious as to why you switched to Mr. Pibb.
Oh, hey, okay. I will say that would only because it's by circumstance. That's I will probably Dr. Pepper usually over more. They just don't. Unfortunately, I don't think some freestyles have Dr. Pepper. Some of Mr. Pibb.
Okay.
So I think the one at Cordova has Dr. Pepper, and then the one at AMC Woodfield in Barrington they have Mr. Pibb.
Okay.
So either one, but overall probably Dr. Pepper, but Mr. Pibb is good too.
I love Dr. Pepper as well.
It's the best. And I remember, yeah, we probably between the two of us in high school and like eighth grade, we probably had gallons of that stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking of this like a month ago, but I probably spent well over like $500 to $1,000 on Arizona iced teas alone from that Walgreens. Like there was a point where like during the summers where I'd probably be at that Walgreens almost every day picking up the same snacks. Like it was insane. Probably not $1,000, but I spent a few $100s on Arizona iced teas over that 4-year span of high school for sure.
Exactly. Now I'm like, Joey, why didn't you save that money? You could
Exactly. Yeah.
you could buy groceries with it now and stuff. But no, hey, it was high school. It's part of the experience.
Honestly, the best part was just being able to adventure out from the house and
Exactly.
cross Meacham, and just that was a big deal at the time.
That's
I
a
mean,
big deal.
I guess being younger in high school, that was a big deal. Was crossing Meacham. I guess actually more so 7th and 8th grade when we were going to McDonald's and Burger King and stuff like that. But I don't know, just exploring in the summertime and being able to ride our bikes to Walgreens in that area was just an experience in itself. So
Oh,
it was
so many good
worth. I
times.
guess yeah, it was definitely worth overspending money on Arizona iced teas.
Like you said, it's that age you start going out, you start venturing the world, you start having your own money to spend on things. So yeah, you got it. It's part of the experience. You got to buy the iced tea, you got to buy the McDonald's.
Absolutely.
And now for our final segment of the show. And I know you've unfortunately, we haven't. Not a lot of people have been to live music recently. So but especially with someone, and also I know you and you've gone to some I know you've helped with some live music events.
Yep.
So like and this applies to movies too, definitely. Just like, what's your overall take on kind of the importance of being able to go out and experience stuff? Because obviously streaming stuff is awesome too, and so glad we have that right now. But kind of like, what do you think is that importance of being able to go out and experience these shows and movies with groups of people?
I mean, I'll just
When we
go
can.
from like the artist perspective as an artist and like being able to put your work out there and like get a reaction out of people. Like that's everything, at least for me. Especially like I guess we could go back to music video day.
I
Like
was just
when we
thinking that
were,
too. Yeah.
like when we, like making the video is a fun time in itself, but like when we're actually sitting in that room and hearing people laugh to our work, like that was what made it all worth it for me. And even I can even put myself in James's perspective too. Like I know he does uh, online or not online shows, live sets on like a Skype call or not Skype, Twitch. But I know like that's a completely different experience than being at a show when you get an applause, you get people cheering for you. It's not it's not the same when it's just comments floating in on a Twitch screen. So there is something as an artist, like being in person and having that experience is pretty much everything, I'd say. But as just as a regular moviegoer, like another great movie experience for me was seeing The Dark Knight, and it was my first time seeing an IMAX movie, and I went with my mom and family, and just like the size of the screen, obviously with IMAX, you get a bigger screen, louder surround sound, and just the overall experience was kind of like life changing for movies for me, at least, just because like you could feel the bass. Like I was sitting in that chair, feeling the bass as that truck was like toppling over, and then the audience, like everybody in the audience was clapping, and I don't know, just something about being immersed in that environment, especially in the IMAX setting. Like you can't get that same experience at home on the couch. I mean, unless you have a home theater, maybe, but I don't have one of those. So for me, being able to go in and experience it firsthand, directly, it's a big deal. And I am missing it. I will say though, these new lazy chairs, they're kind of a problem for me. Excuse me. Kind of a problem for me because like I just get so cozy in them, and like sometimes I'll end up dozing off in the movie. And so yeah, actually I kind of like when movie theaters just kind of have the regular chairs, just because you don't have to be super comfortable. I suppose. I guess I just when I'm too comfortable at a movie theater and cozy, I'll start to doze off. So I do like it when it's just regular movie chairs. But yeah, something about just being in the theater with other people, kind of vibing off other people's energy, and that kind of stuff that you can't get the same experience at home. Um, yeah.
Oh, so
So
well
I
said.
kind of rambled there. I might have been pinging
No,
off of different things.
so it was so perfect, especially at music video day, because yeah, that's like it absolutely breaks my heart thinking about like the students this year and last year. I mean, maybe last year, hopefully, but this year they definitely didn't get to have that experience. Like maybe they had like an online thing where they maybe did something like that. But yeah, like being in the theater when we made that movie where we were filming at your house and we did the fight scene, and then like the thing with like the oranges and like and the produce and stuff, and we were just like, I think we were more excited to see how people would react to it rather than actually
Exactly. Yeah.
watching it ourselves. And especially I think, yeah, if you're an artist, like a musician or or a filmmaker, and you want to be in that crowd with the people and see how everyone kind of collectively reacts. And I think when you're with a group of people, you definitely will react more, especially in a movie like The Dark Knight too. Oh my gosh, like that was like that was really before social media was what it was. It was what it is right now, and like that, like I remember that movie even was popular on social media, even like before social media even was a thing.
And yeah, that movie is kind of almost what got me into filmmaking in a way. Was actually kind of into it before then, but I think after seeing The Dark Knight, or maybe it was even before, just the trailers, I started my first claymation, which was I did the Joker, and like I did like the scene where he said, "Want to know how I got these
Oh
scars?"
yeah,
Like
you
I mean,
totally did
it's
that.
a horrible claymation, but like
It's
I don't know.
awesome.
I was obsessed with the Joker at the time, and he kind of got me into wanting to make stop motion films, and that's kind of what started this whole love for movies and just being a creator in general, I'd say.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up the stop motion, because yeah, they're I remember, yeah, we did one with like cars, you and I, and your like we made like, because I was, Transformers.
Yep,
I think we tried to do like a Transformers type thing with cars.
we did. Yeah. Actually, I
Uh,
don't know what happened to that one, but actually, all of those are missing. I don't know. I took them off of YouTube and I can't find them. But yeah, there's a Transformers one. I also did an Indiana Jones one with Legos.
oh yeah, you
uh,
did do
The
that one.
claymation wrestling one, and then I think that was also part of the Joker. It was like a WWE SmackDown match with like the Joker and that weird scene with the knife. And I don't, It was goofy, but
Hey, they were awesome. It was creative art being made. That's what matters.
yeah.
Well, I think that's the show. Zach, before we close out, do you have anything coming up to promote? Any closing words for the viewers?
Uh, let's see. I guess yeah. I think if you check out my music if you want. Yeah, I go by the name Buzzed, Buzd. Um, yeah, it's just a new little chapter of my life that I'm trying to experiment with, creating electronic music. I also do videos for DJs and stuff like that. So yeah, check out my Instagram. Joey, thank you for having me on the show. This was awesome, and keep this up. Just this is a really cool thing that you have going on here. Um, yeah, nothing else really to say. Just overall, I'm very thankful for being on the show.
Oh, well, hey Zach, I'm so thankful you could be on. This is awesome, and like Zach said, definitely check out his SoundCloud, and I would definitely post it below his Instagram. And yeah, I know I there's so many awesome things he's done, even more than I've been able to mention. So check those all out for sure. And yeah, Zach, this was awesome. It's so awesome catching up, and I'm so glad we got to talk about your immersive, like those super immersive horror film experiences you had. And yeah, this is awesome.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Y'all have a great time. Peace.